Hey, my name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. Real quick though, man. For every nigga who's coping in the comment section, real talk, bro. I got niggas who was down, bro. I mean down. And it's fucking crazy, bro, how quick a nigga is to switch up when a person goes from one company to the other company. Bro, I don't get down with that tribalism shit at all. How many times am I tell y'all cuck ass niggas this, bro? I'm not a WWE boy. I'm not an AEW. I'm not an AEW guy. I'm none of that shit. None of that shit. My consistent position has never been AEW or WWE or that I like both companies. Nigga, I come from a bygone era, bruh. I'm not a part of this generation. Fuck niggas. I'm telling you right now, I'm not from this generation. I don't fuck with this generation at all. The shit that gets you excited, the nonsense that gets you excited, which is not even the fucking content. Y'all niggas just trying to ride and die with fucking companies that don't know you exist. Pussy ass niggas talking about I unsubscribe because you have a bad opinion about CM Punk. Nigga, you been down listening to me talk shit about the man for 3 years, but all of a sudden he's in WWE and it's a bad opinion? Man, get the fuck out my comment section and don't bring your bitch ass back, period. That's the shit that I hate right there, bro. That's a real life thing that gets to me also, bro. Don't fucking come to my fucking video and you hear my opinion about somebody, but because they work for a different company, that's when it's okay. But when they come to a different company, that's when it's a bad opinion. Nigga, I've been consistent this entire time when it comes to a nigga like CM Punk. I ain't never fucking switched up anything at all, period. I give praise when praise is due, and I'll tell you guys when the shit is bad. Last night, the promo was fucking bad. It was objectively fucking terrible. You don't like what the fuck you hearing, and get the fuck out and don't bring your bitch ass back. It's that serious. Pussy ass niggas got their goddamn tampons soaked at the moment. I'm supposed to sit back and just what? Kowtow to y'all niggas? I ain't Brian Zane. I ain't here to fucking play into the cancel culture bullshit. Y'all niggas got a problem with my motherfucking opinion? Get your bitch ass off the fucking channel. Ain't that fucking hard. Niggas talking about, oh, this, that, and the third. Nigga, it was a terrible promo. Nigga cut a universe mode promo last night. Nigga pressing the work. Yo, I'm listening, even the camera angles was compliment of his fucking universe mode self promo bullshit ass promo. I ain't talking about the nigga skills. Man can go out there and get a fucking promo. We all know that, but at the same fucking time, it was objectively a boring fucking promo. How can you sit back and listen to that fucking promo and tell me anything otherwise? What the fuck did he say? Nothing in it had energy. Nothing in what he said actually was promoting anything. It was fucking boring. One nigga even actually said, let it ride out. Fuck you mean let one ride out, bitch? It's a promo. Nigga, he got the fucking... Bro, I'm triggered as fuck listening to these dumbass CM Punk fanboys. Y'all niggas got a problem? Get the fuck out. My opinions ain't gonna change because y'all bitch niggas feel like you can hold some fucking subscribe number over me. Take that subscribe count and suck a nigga dick, bro. Fuck y'all niggas. Pussy ass niggas. All right, done with that. Now let's talk about this AEW shit real quick. Because this product is colder than a motherfucker. I think everybody has been talking about this for the longest. But in my opinion, it has more to do with the structure. That's my opinion. My opinion about AEW being super duper cold right now ain't so much the talents that they have in place, it's what they're currently doing with said talent and how they're actually putting talent in certain positions in order to go throughout the actual show in itself. I'll give you a perfect example right now. I want you guys to think about WWE back in the 1990s. Look at WWE and WCW back in the 1990s and tell me that it's not somewhat similar right now. Different in circumstances, but as far as power dynamics are considered, look at it right now compared to how it was back in the days, where AEW is now in the WWE position in 1996 or 1997, and WWE is in the WCW position. Think about it for a second. WWE literally has every fucking talent possible except for maybe two. With all due respect to Christian, he's a legend in the end of the day, but we're talking about like mainstream names for the most part. They have Jericho and they have Edge. I'm not even going to put Jon Moxley in that position. I'm sorry, I don't see him in that manner. But Jericho and Edge are the two people who are well known throughout professional wrestling that, even more so outside the IWC, that they're missing. You can argue Daniel Bryan and Jon Moxley too, but I want to focus strictly on Edge and Jericho because those are the two focal points, right? And then you look at WWE back in, say, 1997, and really all they had at that moment was Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart. versus literally every fucking body in WCW who came from the 1980s. Literally everybody. Every big name that was in the 1980s was in WWE, with the exception, late, 80s and early 90s, with the exception of Taker, Michaels, and Brett. And how they got around that was that they promoted better storytelling elements. They didn't have all the stars. They didn't have the bigger stars. But they promoted storyline elements that eventually got a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin to reach the heights, one may even argue, over a Hulk Hogan. People may be upset about that. Hey, that is what it is, man. What do you want me to tell you, okay? Cope like the CM Punk dick suckers. My point being is, though, like, that's what they need to focus on. See, people may be opposed to this, and I can understand why you would have those feelings. Hang on for a second. What is that? Oh. Some people may have some QT Marshall. Who the fuck cares about QT Marshall? Apparently he left AEW. Who gives a fuck? But people may have the reservations in regards to this figure because he's controversial in regards to what he wants to do within pro wrestling. But at this point, honestly, I'm not even saying you have to bring back someone like a Vince Russo, but like maybe you should focus on bringing back someone who has that type of mindset. You know what I mean? People who aren't necessarily afraid of going up against the grain. They're very character oriented as far as their focus in regards to their wrestling, because in the end of the day, it's not about relatability in professional wrestling. Sometimes it is, don't get it twisted. That's the main focal point of any story, is trying to make you feel them as much as you can, because it's that connection that they want to come back to in the end of the day, right? I'm not saying to get rid of that element. That's the number one priority. But at the same time, in terms of the actual elements of the story in itself, one thing you can say about Vince Russo, as much as you can say, oh, he had no filter this, or he sucked this, or that logical fallacies, all that, I understand. But two things that he did, hate him or love him, he got your attention. He got your attention. That's one thing that he did. He absolutely did that. And two, not only did he get your attention, but, and this is the most important thing, there was no such thing as boredom in Vince Russo's booking. You can call it shitty, you can call it out there, you can say whatever you want to say about Vince Russo's booking. What you can't say about Vince Russo's booking is that he is boring, because we both know that would be a complete crock of shit. But I'll do you one better. I mention his name sometimes on the channel, but I want to break his name up right now also, because I feel that he is by far the best storyline writer of all time. A Chris Kresge, a guy who brought a storyboard. That's how he used to do his booking back in the days. He would bring a storyboard to work, and he would draw out pictures, and he would paint you out the entire feud from point A to point B. And he will use the storyboard to paint out how he wanted the story to go down. Now, granted, from what I remember, and obviously you don't have to see even the stories that he brought up in meetings and stuff like that. You can just look at the stories in themselves. You can see a drastic difference from 1999 to 2000. He still had the same perspective as Vince Russo in terms of getting everybody on television, but you could tell that his wasn't as theatrical as, say, Vince Russo. Chris Kresge, that's the Rock side of the Attitude Era, versus Vince Russo was the Stone Cold Steve Austin side of the Attitude Era. That's why everybody said, there's a lot of people who would tell you that, like, oh, the Attitude Era, there's two, and I say the same thing. Well, I'm the one that actually somewhat coined it to a little. I don't see anybody else saying to coin it. As far as the Rock half of the Attitude Era and the Stone Cold Steve Austin half of the Attitude Era, and people said that they stopped watching after the Stone Cold era, like that ending portion of 1999. That's when they kind of said they're not going to watch no more wrestling. That it got boring. It's funny, right? It's crazy to think people actually look at the year 2000 and they say that it's boring. But there's a lot of people who are more so into the sports entertainment element of professional wrestling rather than just the grand scheme of things of professional wrestling. Because me personally, I love the Attitude Era as a whole, whether we're talking about 98 and 99 or 2000 and 2001. I loved it as a whole. But at the same time, there are people who are more so like, well, yeah, but 1999, I mean, it was just a lot more better watching Austin on top versus watching The Rock on top. It was a lot better seeing the Ministry of Darkness and the Corporation and DX and Austin versus seeing The Rock and Jericho and Kurt Angle and the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and yada, yada, yada. But at the very least, I feel like Tony Khan should get the best of both worlds when trying to look for a storyline writer, because he needs that's. I think in the end of the day, that's what he needs. He needs a lot of mapping out. He needs someone to focus on core elements and, you know, promote more of that type of structure, because that's where AEW's falling at miserably at the moment. They have no structure whatsoever, and it's like, I feel like I'm a strong proponent in believing if you have all your pieces together, no matter what the other company is doing from a star-studded standpoint, in the end of the day, all that matters is the attention. You know what I mean? They have all the attention right now because they have the names. It's not so much necessarily that they have a story. I can't tell you right now at the very moment what's a hype story that WWE has going right now. Now, granted, they're getting ready to build up some hype storylines. Like, you know, all the things I said about CM Punk in his promo last night is absolutely fucking true. I don't give a fuck what you cocksuckers think. But at the same time, it's not to say that I don't see where they're... I know they're setting up for CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and that's going to be really good. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully the promos are a lot better than last night. Suck a dick. But, you know, it's CM Punk and Seth Rollins are probably getting ready to start it for. I actually want to see that feud. I'm pretty sure they're going to get ready. Now I'm hoping now it's going to be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, I would presume. I'm hoping that, well, now that Gunther is not going to do anything with Seth Rollins, I presume that they're going to come back to the Gunther and Chad Gable storyline, right? That's something to look forward to. Hopefully they do Charlotte and Bianca Belair. That's something to look forward to. Bayley and Io Shirai. That's something to look forward to. So it's a little bit different than WCW, because WCW strictly relied on the NWO. Whereas with WWE, they have all the stars like WCW, but they're not going to make the same exact mistakes as WCW. Versus with AEW, they don't have either of those elements. They don't have the star power, they don't have the story, and they don't have anything that resonates with anybody. And I see nothing in the future that tells me that they have anything prepared. I mean, yeah, they have this Devil storyline and end up maybe being Adam Cole and Jungle Boy, but that's for the IWC to jerk off to. In the end of the day, what is that going to do? Like, what are you going to do with that? And that's what I was trying to tell people with the MJF storyline when it comes to Jay White and shit. Like, that's not a main event program. First things first, you need to get the belt off MJF, and you need to get it on Christian, and you need to promote Edge and Christian throughout your entire show, because that's the hottest angle that you have right now at the moment. And right now, you should be having Swerve Strickland interspersed throughout. He should be the person with the second amount of angles going throughout your show, because he's the second hottest angle right now. That's what you should be doing. Instead, it's just equity nonsense of everybody has to fucking get over, and we have to focus on so many elements that in the end of the day are, I'm not going to say it's detrimental to your product, but at the same time, it's not helping you. You need to focus on things that are currently helping you at the moment. Say what you will about Raw in 1997, which, by the way, I doubt anyone would say anything about, because 1997 Raw is one of the best periods of all time. But look at how they actually did their shows in 1997. They unabashedly, they were not fucking even pulling any punches with this. They knew they were going up against the NWO, so they gave you they gave you Austin and Brett throughout the entire show. With Undertaker and, you know, Kane, because Kane wasn't there yet, so they were kind of like playing off the whole blackmail stuff with Paul Bearer. But for the most part, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart throughout the entire show, beating the fuck out of each other, cutting promos on each other. They were doing that shit throughout the entire 2 hours, with the Undertaker getting the second, even though it's kind of weird because he's a WWE champion, but bear with me, he's getting the second amount of promo time and stuff like that, talking about Paul Bearer and what would soon be Kane. And then from underneath there, you were building up a strong core mid-card talent, so eventually when you get to the end of 97, you can have your chess pieces ready, right? That's what they did. And then once they get themselves into position where all their chess pieces are ready, now we need someone to ignite this with Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson pretty much, with Austin, exploded the company. And now people came to see Tyson. And when they came to see Tyson, now they see Austin. Now they see Taker and Kane. Now they see D-Generation X. Now they see Mankind, for an example. Now they see Sable. And now they're like, holy shit, who are these people? That's what they did, and that's what AEW needs to do. They need to have Edge and Christian feud over that World Championship throughout the entire card. 2 recognizable faces at the very least feuding throughout that fucking card throughout the night, and that's where your focal point should be. Having other people interspersed within their feud so people can kind of get a clue of who the hell they're looking at to know, okay, well, that guy's good, that's guy, because he's with Edge and Christian. Okay, cool. And Swerve Strickland, in my opinion, Edge and Christian should be your Taker and Kane feud, and you should be doing something with Swerve Strickland to get him prepared for that main event role. I'm sorry, MJF is good, and MJF has a role to play in AEW right now, but not in my opinion. I think either you put Swerve Strickland in that position and prepare him because he's an actual new face, and he kind of has that image that fits today's generation a hell of a lot more than an MJF. That's just my opinion. You need to build him up a lot more stronger, and you can keep using Adam Page for that build, obviously, in my opinion. You need to put someone like a Swerve Strickland. I'm just giving an example. It's probably a little bit of bias that's input into this, but I'm also thinking about it from an image standpoint when we're trying to relate to this generation. At least that's my mindset when looking at all this. But that's what you need to do in the end of the day, because going throughout this and doing all this, that, and the third, it ain't gonna work, man. You need to start building up not just the talent, but the atmosphere that sets up the talent. Constantly doing things like tournaments and more wrestling and more wrestling and more wrestling. It's mind-numbingly retarded, and I don't get it at all. And you ask yourselves, why do we have a cold product? You have a cold product because you're not doing anything engaging. You're just trying to engage with your core audience fan base, which, if that's what you want to do, then fine, go ahead. But eventually, all that talent that's eventually going to go to WWE and trickle down little by little, your audience is going to go with them too. And all you're going to have is your core audience fan base. And guess what? In the end of the day, it's not as if TNA Impact isn't relating to their core audience fan base, right? If that's the route you want to go down, then go ahead. Look at them right now currently, right? They're reflecting off their core audience fan base. Go ahead. I would at least let you know and tell you to be cautioned. Maybe have your phone charged up before going on Twitch and recording the pay-per-view. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you see where I'm coming from? I'm not saying that AEW is dead in the waters as of now, but they are fucking Antarctica ice cold. They are on Mars inside of an astronaut suit, fucking ice cold at the moment. And they're going to have to do a couple of things to restructure themselves. I'm not even saying you have to do what I'm saying exactly. I'm just trying to use elements from what WWE did when they had to go up against $1 billion conglomerate with literally every fucking star from the 1980s to go up against, with like 2 people, 3 people. I mean, 2 after December when Brett left. I mean, there are things that they can do, and there are things that I know they won't do. And it's not even to say they have to be outwardly fucking out there and, you know, oh, we have to be offensive for the sake of being offensive. But being controversial for the sake of being controversial is not a bad thing either, in my opinion. But, hey, what the fuck do I know? I'm just some guy recording on his cell phone, getting ready to put on his laptop and just living his best life, right? As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you fine gents later. Deuces, P. Ice.